Have you ever wished for better than FD returns but without entering the roller coaster world of equities? If yes, you are not alone. India's investment culture is changing fast, and while equity markets continue to dominate headlines, not every investor is comfortable with volatility. So, where do investors go when they want stable returns with a little extra yield? Enter high yield corporate bonds, and more importantly, platforms like Bondbazaar, which claims to make bond investing simple, transparent, and accessible. But the real question is Bondbazaar truly worth your time and money, or are there hidden risks behind those attractive yields? So let us break it down in an in-depth manner in this video. So hi there, welcome back to holisticinvestment.in, where we help individual investors like you to make the right financial and investment decision to reach your financial goals in a more faster and smarter way. So before analyzing whether Bondbazaar is worth your time and money, first let us understand the bond market. So think of bonds as large scale loans. You lend money to a company or to the government, and they pay you interest regularly and return your principal at maturity. Simple on paper, right? Then why do so few retail investors actively explore the bond market? Because for decades in India, bonds have been complex, filled with jargon, opaque, with limited publicly available information, and institution dominated, leaving little space for small investors. But things are changing. Platforms like Bondbazaar and other digital marketplaces promise to make bonds as easy to buy as mutual funds, which are transparent, accessible, and available in smaller ticket sizes. The question is, does accessibility solve the underlying risk? Let's go deeper. So, what exactly is a bond? A bond is nothing but a loan you give to the issuer, like company, NBFC, bank, or government. In return, you get fixed interest, like coupon, and principal repayment at maturity. But before you hit invest, pause and ask, what if the issuer defaults? Are you fully aware of their debt levels, cash flows, and repayment history? And can you exit anytime? Bond liquidity varies widely. Some can be sold easily, some barely trade. How do interest rates affect bond prices? When rates rise, existing bonds fall in value. So many retail investors overlook this. And am I evaluating credit risk or just chasing a high yield? A tempting return often hides a bigger risk. Online platforms list hundreds of bonds, but listing is not equal to safety. Your due diligence matters more than ever. So, government securities are considered the safest fixed income instrument in India because they are backed by the government of India itself. They offer stability, but that doesn't automatically make them suitable for all investors. Important questions to reflect on. Will G-Secs beat inflation consistently? Historically, they stabilize portfolios, not maximize returns. And what about liquidity? While safe, some long dated issues don't trade actively. And is RB Retail Direct beginner friendly? It's transparent and direct, but not always intuitive for first time users. So are the returns worth the long maturities? Many G-Secs run for 10, 20, even 40 years. You can buy them through RB Retail Direct or platforms like Bondbazaar, but safety and suitability are not the same. So corporate bond investing accelerated after SEBI lowered the minimum investment to 10,000 rupees, opening the gates for retail investors. But higher yield almost always means higher risk. So questions you must ask are, does AAA truly mean safe? It means strong credit worthiness, not zero risk. Is the extra yield compensating you for hidden trouble? High coupons often indicate weaker financial strength. And is the issuer's cash flow reliable? Short-term profit is not the same as long-term solvency. So digital platforms make buying corporate bonds easy, they do not make them safe. Your analysis matters more than the interface. So credit ratings give you a quick snapshot of an issuer's repayment capability, but here's the reality. Have agencies missed red flags before? Yes. Can a AAA fall to D in a sudden event? Yes. Can downgrades trigger panic selling and price crashes? Absolutely. A credit rating is a starting point, not a guarantee. Smart investors use ratings but never depend solely on them. These agencies assess the credit worthiness of issuers like CRISIL, ICRA, like CRISIL, ICRA, CARE ratings, Brickwork ratings, and India ratings and research. But remember, issuers pay for ratings. So this issuer pays model can create conflicts of interest. That's why cross verifying across agencies and reading the rationale behind the rating is essential. So not all bonds carry the same level of safety. So understanding the hierarchy is crucial. So senior secured bonds are backed by collateral, which means assets, so higher safety within corporate bonds. And senior unsecured bonds have no collateral, meaning higher risk if things go wrong. And subordinated bonds repaid after senior bondholders, so higher yield, higher risk. And perpetual bonds have no maturity date, so sensitive to interest rate changes, highest risk among listed bonds. So if a company collapses, the type of bond determines who gets repaid first and who potentially gets nothing. So now, as you have a basic idea about what are bonds are and the many types of it, now let us take a review of the Bondbazaar platform. So Bondbazaar is a SEBI registered online bond platform provider, OBPP, which means the platform follows the SEBI's compliance norms for transparency, investor protection, and transaction safety. But here's the distinction most investors miss. SEBI regulation protects you from platform risk, which means fraud, mis-selling, hidden charges, operational issues. It does not protect you from issuer risk, the risk that the company you lend money to cannot repay. So while the platform itself is safe to transact on, the underlying bonds still require your judgment. So minimum investment amounts are small. For GSEC it's like 100 rupees and corporate bonds it's 1000 rupees. So this makes bond investing extremely accessible, but accessibility should never replace analysis. Platforms make investing easier, not safer. So now let us take a look at the key features of Bondbazaar, because Bondbazaar offers several investor-friendly features like SEBI OBPP compliant, which ensures structured processes and transparency, zero brokerage and no hidden fees, which means clear cost structure, and real-time pricing sourced from NSE or BSE, which reduces markup risk. So Bondbazaar offers several investor-friendly features like a SEBI OBPP compliant, which ensures structured processes and transparency. Second, zero brokerage and no hidden fees, which means clear cost structure. And number three, real-time pricing sourced from NSE or BSE, which reduces markup risk. And number four, modern intuitive interface, easy for first-time users. And number five, returns ranging from 8% to 14%, attractive but must be evaluated. And number six, tenures from 6 months to 5+ years, which means good flexibility. These features make the platform convenient, but convenience can sometimes make risk feel smaller than it is. High yields, they always carry trade-offs like credit risk, liquidity risk, or both. So Bondbazaar lists multiple categories of fixed income products like sovereign gold bonds, which has 2.5% annual interest, and capital gains are fully tax-free if held for 8 years, and they are tradable on exchanges, so best for long-term wealth building with gold exposure. And number two in the list is corporate bonds. It has higher coupon rates. The risk varies widely depending on the issuer quality, and it is ideal only if you understand credit risk and can evaluate financial stability. So the third on the list is government securities, which includes T-bills, state development loans, and long dated G-SECs. So it has highest safety due to government backing and suitable for conservative investors, works well for predictable income and capital preservation. So each product serves a different purpose, not all fit every investor. So regular interest payouts sound attractive, but they come with questions like, are you sacrificing compounding? So payouts stop your money from accumulating returns, and will you reinvest the interest? Most investors don't. So this results in lower real returns. And what if the issuer delays a payment? Credit risk often shows up through delayed paid interest before outright default. So is a mutual fund more efficient for your goal? Debt funds reinvest interest automatically, enhancing compounding. So earned income is great, but compounded income builds wealth. So the minimum ticket size for government securities is 100 rupees and corporate bonds it's 1000 rupees. So these low minimums make it easy to experiment with, but here's the trap. Small entry amount does not mean small risk. Even with 1000 rupees, you're still exposed to issuer default, liquidity issues, interest rate fluctuations. So avoid using emergency money or short-term funds just because the minimum investment is low. So the Bondbazaar does well in user experience like quick online KYC, clean clutter, free dashboard, assisted selling, helpful if liquidity dries up, but a smooth UI can unintentionally hide risk perception. So ask yourself, are the risks clearly explained or are you relying on filters? Are you choosing bonds based on yield rather than issuer strength? Or are you letting an easy interface replace real analysis? And technology simplifies access, not risk assessment. So who should invest via Bondbazaar? Bondbazaar works best for investors who understand credit risk, can remain invested till maturity, and can seek returns higher than FDs, seek higher returns than FDs, and want diversification beyond equity FDs and MFs, and have moderate to risk high tolerance. So before purchasing, ask, can I handle a temporary price fall? Can I handle a missed interest payment? And do I fully understand the issuer's business stability? And does this bond align with my long-term goals? So if the answer is no, reconsider. So the taxation also significantly affects your net return. So for listed bonds, if you have been holding them for less than 12 months, they are taxed as per your income slab, and if you're holding them for more than 12 months, the LTCG tax will apply at 12.5%. For unlisted bonds, if you have been holding them for less than 24 months, they will be taxed as per slab rate, and if you have been holding them for more than 24 months, LTCG will apply at 12.5%. So interest income is taxed as income from other sources, and TDS at 10% will be deducted automatically. So always consider post-tax returns and not just the headline coupon. And many investors assume that bonds are automatically safer than equities, but safety depends on what kind of risk you're talking about. Equity markets are volatile. Yes, they go through crashes, corrections, and unpredictable phases, but historically equity markets recover, sometimes even stronger than before. And volatility may test your patience, but it rarely results in a total wipeout unless you choose extremely poor quality stocks. So corporate bonds operate differently. A single default can cause permanent irreversible loss of capital. There is no bounce back if the issuer cannot repay. So we have already seen what happens when strong looking names collapse. So DHFL, which is once trusted, later turned into a massive default, and ILNFS and AAA rated giant suddenly collapsed, and Yes Bank AT1 bonds are written down to zero overnight, and multiple NBFCs that appeared fine until liquidity pressure exposed deeper cracks. So while equity brings volatility, corporate bonds carry the risk of finality. So stability in price does not equal safety in outcome. In 2020, the Indian debt market witnessed one of its most dramatic events. Franklin Templeton wound up six debt schemes, freezing 25,000 rupees crores. Investors couldn't redeem their money. NAV stopped updating. Redemptions were locked until asset recovery began. And this wasn't a small fund house or an obscure scheme. This was a reputed AMC with a long track record. If such an institution can run into liquidity and credit issues, what about lesser known companies offering 9%, 10%, 11%, or even 12% coupon rates on private platforms? Bonds don't offer daily NAVs like mutual funds. You always cannot see the stress building up, and once liquidity dries up in the secondary market, you're effectively stuck. So chasing higher yield without understanding the underlying risk can cost far more than it pays. So why credit risk is so difficult to detect? Credit risk is not loud. It doesn't announce itself, it builds quietly through weakening cash flows, rising debt, promoter issues, or sector wide stress. Everything looks normal until it doesn't. When a credit event hits, it tends to hit all at once. Sudden rating downgrades, collapse in secondary market liquidity, questions around collateral valuation, delays in interest or principal payments, steep drop in bond price, sometimes with no buyers. And remember, these are not substitutes for bank FDs. These are high yield, high risk instruments where the possibility of default is very real, even if the coupon looks attractive. So let us take a quick summary of what really matters. So high yield is equal to high risk always, and evaluate the issuer first, not the platform's interface, and liquidity as unpredictable. You may not be able to exit, and ratings can and do fail. So don't depend on them blindly, and never invest emergency funds or goal based money in high yield corporate bonds, and diversify across issuers, sectors, and maturities to reduce concentration risk. Good return is useful, recoverable return is essential. So if you want fixed income exposure without taking concentrated issuer risk, you can consider safer, more diversified options like credit risk mutual funds, which spread risk across many issuers, like daily NAV updates, professional credit analysis, and better liquidity than individual high yield bonds. And RBI retail direct G-Secs are backed by the government of India with zero default risk, transparent pricing, and suitable for long term stability and predictable income. These options may offer lower yield, but they also offer higher visibility and much lower uncertainty. So, what is the final takeaway then? Platforms like Bondbazaar make bond investing accessible, but accessibility doesn't reduce complexity. A certified financial planner CFP can help you to match the right bond type to your financial goals and analyze the issuer's stability and repayment history, understand tax treatment and post tax returns, avoid unsuitable credit risk, and maintain an allocation that protects and not jeopardizes your wealth. So, build a portfolio that balances growth, income, and safety, because smart investing isn't about chasing returns today, it's about preserving your future tomorrow.
If you want to read more about this policy, then you can definitely check out the blog post we have posted on our website through the link in the description. And if you want to gain more professional guidance through a professional financial planner, you can choose to book a one-on-one complimentary consultation with one of our professional financial planner through the link in the description. Also, if you want to gain more investment and financial insights through the leading experts in the finance industry, we also conduct regularly free live webinars through which you can register and gain these insights. The link is in the description. Also, if you like this video, definitely hit like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can come up with more such financially beneficial content for you. Thank you for watching.